All right. After this, we had FTR come down for an in-ring promo. Where Cash that admits that they've actually known everything that Jeff Jarrett and Slapnuts were going to do, but those guys are really smart and they've been able to outsmart them and do it anyway. Dax then grabs Mike, excuse me, I'm the Mark, and says that Jarrett is smart because he's attached his name to the best tag team in professional wrestling, but they're not going to let some TNA rejects be at the top of the tag team division. So they better go to the Queen of the Mountain to make sure they have jobs afterwards. The Queen not being Jarrett's bitch wife, but Dixie Carter. Then Mark Briscoe comes out, and FTR try to tell him to make sure that Jarrett and the Slapnuts don't get into his head. And Briscoe's not really concerned about that. He's more concerned about the pile driver that Dax accidentally gave him the other week. Obviously, Dax had been blinded from the liquor, and Dax says as much, and then he was just trying to apologize. One of the other assholes, I don't know what he said. They actually did a good censor for once in AEW. Apologizes and tells Mark to be a man and shake his hand. Oof. Mark slaps the hand away, and Dax says that he's not going to embarrass him on national television, repeating his demand for Mark to be a man and shake his hand. Mark then decides to just slap Dax upside the head, and Dax gets really pissed off and tries to get in his face, but Cash holds him back. Briscoe then goes to leave, and we find Jeff Jarrett and the Slapnuts out on the ramp. So Briscoe going up the ramp pushes Karen Jarrett down, just absolutely slaps the shit out of Jeff Jarrett, and then goes up to Jay Lethal, grabs him by the face, and says that he's his boy, but he's tired of his bullshit. So, James, this was interesting. You're definitely starting to see Briscoe might end up looking like a neutral adjudicator leading up to his special guest referee role in this tag team match, because he's just kind of pissed at everybody. But I also kind of feel like he's just going to hit everybody with a finisher at this point.
And I'd be A-okay with that. Personally, FTR, at least Dax, at least his character is starting to feel more like his real-life personality.
Or at least his podcast personality.
My God, he came across as such an asshole. I pile-drived you last week. Now shake my hand like a man. Well, fuck you, dude. The slap he gave you should be grateful that's all he gave you.
Yeah. Also, side note, man, this is a great movie that Bernie Mac gif is from. I love that movie.
Yeah. I know I sometimes come across as the boy who cried wolf when it comes to this. I'd be very okay with a double turn in this situation of FTR going heel and Jeff Jarrett and the Slapnuts turning face, because, man, they're going to lose anyway. They're always going to lose. Let them be faces who put heels over. And they're starting to get appreciated because of how much work they've put in. Like, they're goofy as hell. Let them be goofy baby faces who lose, as opposed to goofy heels who lose.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. They're getting a lot of cheers for what happened at the deletion thing, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that was very funny and very good. So if
Wait,
there are
deletion?
Yeah, it was some Hardy compound thing they did.
That was the Firm.
Oh, that was the Firm. You're right. I am so sorry. It shows how much I watch fucking Rampage, right?
You and the 12 other people.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right, though. They are starting to get appreciated either way. They've been doing phenomenal heel work, and we have, been a part of that appreciation here on the show. So if they are starting to get cheered and you can kind of, do it organically, I don't hate that. It's just, you're going to really make me root for Jeff Jarrett in the year of our Lord 2023. He's been doing a phenomenal job at getting booed because he's one of the best at that ever. So just let him keep doing it. Now, if you turn Lethal face and he stays heel, I'd be a little more okay with that. But I don't know if I want Jeff Jarrett as a face right now. He's just doing so well. He draws heat so well, and it allows him to put over younger talent really well. So
also,
yes, I did miss up a jobber faction. I'm sorry.
I think if you were going to turn FTR heel, the best way to do it would have been to steal one from the Acclaimed from the get-go. If you were going to do that, I would be annoyed if they turned them heel now, because I would have been at least more okay with Acclaim losing had FTR turned heel to win it from them.
I get that, but I also feel like it's fair to react to something after the fact. Like, they didn't put the titles on the Acclaimed right away when they got when they were getting cheered that night. And granted, you could argue that was the wrong move. They should have put the titles on them back then, but they reacted accordingly after the fact. And I don't think FTR are as beloved as they were a month ago or 2 months ago.
They unfortunately lost a lot of goodwill with the Access podcast. And it's a weird thing to say, but at least from the IWC, which I think makes up a lot of AEW's fan base, a lot of people were kind of annoyed at him and just truly wanted him to stop talking. So I think they did lose some goodwill there. And I don't think people have turned on them, but I think people are willing to boo them. And honestly, they've been heels the majority of their careers, at least as long as we've been seeing them. So it's not like they're going to have a problem getting booed.